spouses and partners. But I want to tell you a story about my dear friend who's not here this morning, Steve Perry. He's not feeling well, so let's send him some healing prayers. But Steve and I have had an interesting journey in creating ease and peace in our relationship. And today we have a wonderful relationship. But I want to tell this story, and I'd love you to reflect on someone that is very different than you in your life. As almost everyone knows, I moved here from Maui to Missouri. It was a big shift. And I moved here, and I was at the Unity of Maui, and prior to Unity of Maui, I was at Unity of Fort Lauderdale. I was just into palm trees for many years. And both of these places were places of a lot of movement and diversity, but more transient. But the thing with both of these Unity churches were that they were very contemporary in their music. And I've been with Unity 25 years, and the Unity churches where I've been had a band and had contemporary music and didn't have a choir, didn't have an organ. And so it was a very different experience for me to come to Unity Temple. But because, as we do in our way of relationship, I thought my way was the right way. I thought my way and my experience of Unity Church was the only way it should work. So I kept sending Steve these little emails or these little ideas or these little thoughts, and he would listen to many of them, and he was very kind. But after about a year of this, I could tell that I wasn't getting as many emails back, and I wasn't hearing from him as much. And at that time, I was seeing a person that was helping me with public speaking, and a Unity minister that was also a sort of a coach therapist person. And I was talking to him about my challenge and what I was going through. And he said one day, got a little quiet, and he said, "Heidi, tell me, is coordinating the music at Unity Temple your job?" And then I was really quiet. I said, "Well," he said, "No, seriously, you're the associate minister. Is coordinating the music your job?" You know, that's when we want to kick a rock or something. We start seeing our part. I said, "No, it's not really." He said, "What is your job?" And I said, "Well, I do with some counseling, I do some teaching, and I speak. I'm learning how to speak publicly, as you know." And he said, "Well, why don't you really focus on making your talk the best talk you could ever give, work on the relationship with this man, and let the music just work itself out. There's some great people there that have been there a lot longer than you have, and they've got something that really works for them, so maybe you should work on your relationship." Ease in relationship, right? So I called Steve, and I will also tell you there were many things about the music here that I just love, and of course I do today. But I got together with Steve, and I said, "Steve, I need to make an amends to you. I've been trying to do your job, and I'm not doing a very good job, and I know I feel like there's some stress in our relationship, and I really like you, and I'd really like to have a relationship with you as a person to person, as coworker to coworker." And I think right at that time, we both started crying, because he said, "Heidi, I really like you too, but you're just so difficult sometimes." And I said, "Steve, exactly." And I said, "I wonder if we work on our relationship, on the love, the respect, and the diversity that we bring, and perhaps everything else will work itself out." And ever since that day and that moment, we have had so much fun as two people getting to know each other. And our ideas, we've been able to blend our ideas, and all these wonderful people have been able to work. We've all been able to work together in the way of celebrating our diversity. And we bring so many ideas to the table that allow this incredible Center for Wellbeing to be what it is. But what's really funny about this experience, when we really celebrate diversity, engage in what's in front of us, is that I am now part of the spearhead, part of the committee that's going to restore this organ, and I'm all excited about it. And we're having a meeting Tuesday night we'll tell you about. But Steve just spent a week in Hawaii, and he's texting me, "Aloha, I'm here on the beach, hanging loose, wish you were here." And I'm like, "Well." So we both have just because we've been able to play with this experience of who we are and what we bring, we've enriched our lives. Rumi says, beyond right and wrong, there is a field. I'll meet you there. That's where Steve and I were able to meet, in this field of there's no right and wrong. There's a beautiful experience of music here. There was a beautiful experience of music in many Unity churches, and they're all very diverse. We celebrate diversity, and we want to understand and have and engage in what's in front of us. Jesus told us to turn the other cheek. He didn't say, okay, hit me here and hit me here and hit me here. He said, change our perspective. Be willing to see your part and say, I'm making amends to you. I've been really doing this in the incorrect way, which has been causing pain for me and I know for you. So can we meet on that field where there isn't any right and wrong and really be about the love that we are? And finally, friends, we get to have compassion for these people, for their experiences. To really take a moment, we do this in our Calling in the One class, in our relationship class. We say to consider one of these dances that you're in. I see all relationships as a dance. And that you take one moment to step back, take your story out of the equation, and just consider that other person, their experience, their upbringing, what their world looks like, how they're perceiving you. As I've looked at my relationships, I realize I'm no piece of cake. I bring a lot of things to the table that are challenging for the people in my life. And if I could really take a moment to recognize that, I have so much more compassion for what these people are dealing with. This is never about condoning toxic behavior or dysfunctional behavior or abusive behavior, but it is taking a moment to understand how other people perceive the world. It is that Christ presence that we bring to life. It is what we're born to do, to experience and to also have compassion for these other people. Isn't it uncanny how the people in your life come there in this divine and perfect order? Isn't it amazing when you think back to those people that were kind of difficult, how you've grown? This is why I talk about my ex-husband, because he and I are really good friends today. And we grew as people together. And so there is this sense of how do we really use relationship as a way to find out more of who we are and understand that that is where we know ease. Ease isn't something that you may experience right away in relationship, but it is something that will grow within you. And without the mirror of the people around us, we're just kind of people on this planet sort of sucking air and not being these great souls that we were born to be. So I ask you this week to have some time in this last step of the action step. And if whatever is in your life, and we all have something that has our attention, it allows us to grow. It may not be a person. It may be an experience. It may be something like the situation in the Gulf of Mexico, or something that's going on in our government, or something on this planet that doesn't feel right for you. But our job is to create that peace within us and ask, what is it? What button is it in me that's getting pushed? That's how I let my Christ light shine, is to look within me and say, how do I heal that which needs to be healed? And how do I reveal that which needs to be revealed and communicate with the people in my life? And that, my friends, is this unconditional love. We have so much more love within us than we know. And relationships allow us to dig deeper. They allow us to say, if I'm part of a spiritual community that sings at the end of my service, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, let me get on that. Let me get on that thing about being the peace that I was meant to be. And let me use and see these people in my life and these circumstances as a way to awaken that which I am. During our meditation, when I was at Unity of Houston, they said a prayer for the Gulf of Mexico, and I'm going to use it in the meditation, that it was a way of changing our feelings about it. Not again condoning what's happening, but allowing yourself to experience some peace and send that energy out in the